The Legend of Zelda is easily my favorite Nintendo franchise of all time. With the Nintendo Switch 2 on the horizon, I want to talk about some Zelda games we may see coming up, like Zelda remakes, remasters, and brand new Zelda games. There's a bit of Zelda news I'm going to touch on also that may shed some light on what games to expect. Subscribe for everything Nintendo. Now let's get right to the Legend of Zelda discussion. The Legend of Zelda started as a pixelated adventure inspired by Miyamoto from his childhood experiences, exploring the forests, caves, and lakes near his home in Japan. He wanted to create a game that captured the sense of adventure and exploration he felt as a child, and The Legend of Zelda was the result. Zelda then kept the same formula, but transformed into 3D with semi-open worlds and huge dungeons to overcome, along with a great story to keep you engaged in the world. We also got Zelda games in the form of 2D adventures like Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening Remake. Then Nintendo blew our minds with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. The games had huge open worlds with creative ways to explore, like building your own vehicles or fast travel. Cooking systems with various combinations of ingredients that give you different stats were introduced, along with many different armor sets to equip. Nintendo started to lean hard into the RPG elements, and to be honest, I like it. But I also like the more old traditional Zelda games too, and I don't want to see them disappear. Zelda has grown so much as a franchise, and it gets more creative with each game made. But first, I have some news I want to go over before I dive into the remakes and other games I think we may see. Nintendo has renewed the trademark for The Legend of Zelda. This doesn't mean much, it's just standard things companies do to keep the trademark. But there is also many rumors out there about Zelda games coming soon. Newegg had that Zelda Twilight Princess and Wind Waker eShop gift card leak, and recently more news popped up about it. According to Mr. Nintendad, The Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess Remake is expected to be part of the Nintendo Switch 2 launch lineup. I'm really excited for this and I hope it happens. I'll talk more about this later in the video. Next, Nash Weedle, that data mined the codenames of Link's Awakening as Richard and Echoes of Wisdom as Edward, discovered a new codename, Bernard. Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom were both made by Grezzo, and with Bernard being a similar codename theme, I think we may see one of the upcoming games made by them. Grezzo loves that 2D toy-like art style, but if I had to guess, I think they would continue that style. A remake of Oracle of Ages and Seasons would be a perfect choice for Grezzo to remake. Oracle of Ages concentrates on puzzles, while Oracle of Seasons focuses on action. I can see Grezzo combining the two games into one experience. I never played the Oracle games and would love to experience it on the Switch 2. Back to the Twilight and Wind Waker leak. It says it'll be a remake. I would love that to be true, but I think it'll be a remaster port for the Switch 1 and 2. Wind Waker's cartoon art style still holds up today and doesn't need that much. But I want Nintendo to add new content of some kind, like they did on the Wii U port with the Swift Sail item that lets your sail be at max wind at all times whenever you wanted. Maybe they could add some more islands to explore with a few new dungeons. Twilight Princess, on the other hand, I really think needs a remake. Twilight Princess had a more mature setting and was the only Zelda game with a T rating. It was being developed on the GameCube and the Wii, and I think it was rushed to meet the launch of the Wii. I don't feel the Zelda team got to do everything they wanted with this game, and if they remade it for the Switch 2 from the ground up, it would be one of the best Zelda games of all time. I love Twilight because it was so different, it was more mature, and to me it fits The Legend of Zelda more. Twilight Princess was supposed to be Wind Waker 2, but because of poor sales in the West, they changed the art style to a more realistic tone. The way you got to play as Link and Wolf Link to solve puzzles to progress was amazing. I spent hours out on that lake in the minigame on Zora's River. The art style of Twilight Princess would look really good on the Switch 2 with the more realistic look it has. I'm just dying to see Twilight Princess remade with the care Tears of the Kingdom had. Breath of the Wild had a leak saying a remaster was coming soon. At Gamescom 2023, select journalists were shown an enhanced version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, running on a system with higher frame rate and resolution compared to the version that launched alongside the Switch back in 2017. According to the leaker known as Midori, there is a project at Nintendo with the codename U-King-O. Nintendo often uses suffixes to ports and remasters. I really hope this isn't true. I mean, Breath of the Wild looks good enough. Nintendo could just add a Switch 2 performance patch to increase the frame rate and call it a day. I would rather Nintendo spend its resources on better things than a game that doesn't really need a remaster. Me being me though, I'd buy it anyways because I love Zelda. Ocarina of Time has rumors out there also of a complete remake. I recently played Ocarina of Time and I loved it. It has a huge open world to explore, but it just hits different. When you enter Link's timeline, he already has a relationship with this small peaceful village. There's already a backstory established, but still, he doesn't seem to belong. He's different, and as a player you feel that energy straight away. It's a story about Link leaving home and discovering who he is throughout throughout the journey into the unknown, and it makes it really good. The game's design to me is pretty balanced, dungeons aren't too long, and the difficulty is just right. The towns and characters you meet are just full of life. Traveling through time as adult Link, saving the entire world only to return to a time where nobody remembers you, hits home pretty hard. It's such a good story. Link loses everything, but saves everyone. Twilight Princess used to be my favorite Zelda game until I played this. Nintendo, if you ever remake another Zelda game, please remake Ocarina of Time. It's a 10 out of 10 game. I saw the fan remake on the Unreal Engine, and it got me so hyped for Nintendo to do the same. This game is just a masterpiece. I could make an entire video on just this game. There's just so much to it. Majora's Mask is the direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. The tone of this game is dark like Twilight Princess, which I like a lot. The giant moon threatening to destroy the world just gives you a sense of urgency through the game. The cast of characters are some of the strangest in any Zelda game I've ever seen. There's a ghost in a toilet bowl, the mysterious masked salesman, and weird giants. The masks in the game add a unique feature to Majora's Mask with transformations and abilities. It was really cool. I love how dark the story is, but I wish if Nintendo remakes this from the ground up, they remove the time limit. Majora's Mask on more modern hardware would be amazing. As far as brand new Zelda titles, I don't think we'll be seeing anything for a while. Tears of the Kingdom isn't that old, and Nintendo usually has somewhat of a pattern in between new mainline games. We usually get remakes and ports in between the long wait gaps. There is plenty Nintendo can put out in between though. All I can say is though, in my opinion, I don't think the next new mainline Zelda game will be huge open world. I think they may try to go back to the traditional form of Zelda again so people don't get worn out on the new formula. I really enjoy talking about Zelda games on the channel. I may do an entire video on my experience playing Ocarina of Time for the first time. I just enjoyed it that much. Let me know your thoughts on what's next for Zelda. I'm Tankingway. I'll see you in the next one.